What is happening, everybody? Happy Memorial Day weekend. Much love to all the vets that have given their life, sacrificed for this country so that we could do silly things like this, like stream and argue over UFO videos and argue over what disclosure means. We couldn't do any of that without our veterans and without our service members. So thank you to all who paid the ultimate price for this freedom that we have. This stream, I was supposed to do the stream Friday. Had some unforeseen issues, so we had to delay it a little bit. Glad you all are here today because we are going to go through every video, every NASA recording that was just released. So I think we have a total of almost 3 hours of UAP videos. It's crazy. So I'm going to get it going right away. I'm not going to waste a lot of time. If you're on YouTube, thanks for tuning in for the Gabriel Speaks Podcast. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and all those good things. If you're on X, give me a like, give me a share. Really appreciate that stuff. Okay, so we're going to get right into it with these UFO file videos. And then we're going to end with the new NASA recordings that were released. So I'm going to switch the view up here. All right. So here's the first one. Now there's already people saying this is some kind of a spy balloon. I don't know. Does not look like a spy balloon to me. But we're seeing these things through like FLIR and, so heat. That's crazy looking, y'all. I think that's one that Jeremy Corbell had sort of slipped out in his documentary about a guy that makes documentaries. So that was pretty crazy, but I won't slow all these up or we'll be here all day. Instantaneous acceleration. That's what they're saying that this video here demonstrates. Wow. So it goes up and then just instantly breaks right. So this is the original clip at 100% speed. And it's going to go up and then immediately just break right. So I know there's scientific explanations for a lot of these things, but something just immediately, I mean, as fast as our camera can track at least, take off to the right. That's incredible. So they're going to give it to us in 25% speed. Let's take a look. It's going up, and poof. Oh my goodness. I mean, it was so fast. The camera tracking it didn't catch the streak. So here's a 5% and it's still a flash. Boom, it's gone. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, you got any explanations for that one? Please let me know because that is wild. Okay. The inverted black and white here. So it's the same video with inverted black and white. Now, what's crazy is like, I don't know if y'all heard Eric Weinstein on this most recent Joe Rogan podcast, but like he's talked a lot about some of these things that we may be developing at some of our universities and scientific and weapons contractors, aerospace contractors. Wow. I have no idea what we're looking at here. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so there's little guy. Man, cruising. Now, could that be a drone with a classified propulsion? It could be. I think we're all starting to consider these things as more and more information comes out, and just makes it more difficult to discern what may be our own human technology and what may be some non-human technology. And this one, I watched this one. If there's an explanation for the pill, right? Like if that's some like legit classified program, and Fravor just saw it by accident essentially, then I think we could definitely develop something like this. The crazy acceleration of speed, I have no idea. But we've talked about, God, going way back, we've talked a lot about the benefits of aerogel. Now, that doesn't necessarily solve your propulsion needs, but it does resolve your appearance size needs, your weight needs. I mean, I think the last unclassified thing that I was able to find with aerogel was basically a rocket propulsion system with aerogel on it. And I think, oh, what kind of rocket was it? I can't remember what kind of rocket it was, but, and then NASA had developed a system, but it was a radar tracking system. But some of these, like you, just because it's different and you haven't seen anything like it, doesn't mean it's not something within our technical capabilities. Those ones look pretty wild. 4 little slug guys. I'm not sure if this is them as well. If it's the same grouping. But that's another thing we hear a lot from reports, right? Is that these things will fly in formations. They'll break away and then fly back in formation. Insane. So I'm guessing it seems like both things are moving. So this may be like a drone camera or some type of weapon system on a fighter jet or something that's tracking these. Not exactly sure. But the way that they look, even on radar, the kind of motion it seems like they're making is pretty wild. Roddy says the Madre del Pa. Well, if y'all have thoughts, throw them in the chat. If you have any theories of what we're seeing here. You know, another thing that Weinstein got into with Rogan was the missing scientists. Like he's basically said he's going to just start talking about whatever's not classified because there's scientists missing. Eric Weinstein said, "I am not suicidal" on the Joe Rogan podcast. That's how fucking crazy this missing scientist thing has gotten. Like, what? And the question is, is it the full, I think it's up to like 15 now. Is it the full 15 scientists that are missing? He believes it's like a smaller number, but that it's still a smaller number that's connected somehow, and that it's probably to do with some of this technology. And a lot of it, fuck y'all, has to do with energy. It has to do with energy because if we figure out cheaper or even free ways to get energy, think of the disruption that would cause. If we realize our Air Force is flying these things around with no gas, no nothing, completely undetectable. Sorry, y'all. Little interruption. So if we find out that these things are flying with basically no fluid needed, basically, right? Like it's all based on frequencies and energy and dynamics and this sort of thing. And we figure out this can power our cars, and this can heat our homes, and this can light our workplace, right? Think of what that would do to the oil and gas industry, the energy industry as a whole. It would completely flip it on its head. And it would do a big, big number on the market in general. And there's a lot, including the President of the United States. There's a lot of people that are very wealthy and very powerful and hold a lot of cards because they control a portion of that energy sector. So it's the same thing like when I heard about Amy Eskridge, my thought was not our own government. My thought was like contractors for maybe some of these energy people that realize that if you crack, I don't know, gravity, then you can heat a home for free. And Pacific Gas or New York Energy or whoever owns that is not going to be happy. Now, think about it. You move into a home, you have optional things you can install, right? We've got cable, internet. That's a choice you can make. TV, whether you want that service. But if you want lights and heat and to be cool when it's hot, you have to hook up your utilities and pay energy. And sure, there's people going off grid, but not in the numbers that it's having any kind of impact on these companies. Free energy or next to free energy would have a gigantic impact. Gigantic impact on these people. So, you might not be able to stop it from happening, but if you can get these masterminds, these folks that are ahead of their time in their fields out of the way, then at least we can slow it down for another 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 years. Sometimes you have to break a few eggs to make an omelet, right? What a shame. What a shame if that's the disclosure, or if that's why we're not going to get disclosure from our government. We're just going to get more weird, unexplained videos like this, that probably half of it is their technology and they're just not telling us. Oh my gosh, look at that. The pilots don't know. Do you know when you find out about a classified aircraft when you're a pilot? Right before you're about to get inside of it. That's how that works. No, they don't read anybody in that doesn't need to be ready. Need to know. So Fraver's flying out there seeing this Tic Tac. That's a fucking UFO. Now the folks that, I'm not going to say any names, but one of these private companies or one of these SAPs, they know exactly what the fuck it is. They can't tell him. So as far as he knows, he's seen a UFO. There's nothing that can explain the propulsions, the movements of said Tic Tac. Well, what if there is? And that's the real secret, not aliens. What if it's energy and power, which we all know are key? Nothing in your home works without power, right? We couldn't be doing this without power. If the complete power grid got taken out, y'all imagine what would happen on our streets. Whoa, that was a crazy one. Just imagine what that would happen. When power goes out here because of a snowstorm, after 5 days, I think the worst we ever got was 8 days. But after 5 days, it was like fucking Lord of the Flies, y'all. As far as getting warm and getting power and getting food and getting things you needed in the community. Everyone's going to take care of their family first, of course. I mean, AC/DC is so dated, y'all. How is it that like our computers and our phones and everything else gets an upgrade every single 6 months to a year? But we've been running on fossil fuels since there's been energy. Why is there any updates in energy? Because it's a chokehold. It's a chokehold. I have a great friend. Never, ever been fucked with. As soon as they start dabbling in energy, they're getting fucked with. That's not a coincidence. Careful out there, y'all. If you're in this field, if you're trying to produce, because like I said, I think the key to unlocking, gravity, as they say, it's also the key to unlocking an energy potential that could wipe fossil fuels out completely, 100%. It's just so dated. It's so dirty. And it costs so much. Why hasn't it changed in 100 years? All they've done is build on the existing infrastructure. Zero innovation, zero. None. Oh, pay a little more on your electric bill and you can fund a windmill. Get the fuck out of here. Really? It's crazy. Like where I live, 80% of our energy is hydro. And you think, oh, hydro, like that's a clean energy. You're just using the river water into the turbines, converting that to energy. And like, yeah, it might be clean now. But to make that dam, to convert that into a energy creating hydrogen dam, they had to completely divide the river. That's not natural. Probably wasn't good for the existing species at the time. But it wasn't a change. It wasn't an update. It's just as dirty in different ways. Now this shit looks crazy. And these are those movements we hear a lot of these witnesses talk about, which is just these crazy, unpredictable movements. And they're like direct, ping, ping, straight line, straight line. Million miles an hour, bing, bing, bing. See, you figure that out. Energy is nothing. Now, if these are the videos that Burchett was saying You remember, I don't know if y'all remember this, but Burchett was like, oh my God, there's some high def videos. They will blow your mind. Once you see these videos, you will have no question. If this is those videos, eh. Some of them are interesting. I would imagine, though, that most of them, probably 99.9% of them, have an explanation that one way or another our government knows about, whether it's our stuff, someone else's stuff, some other civilization stuff. Now, the interesting thing I thought Weinstein said as well is he thinks we've lost control of our airspace. While we've been innovating weapons, building giant battleships, carriers, and whatnot, other countries have been innovating in other areas. And he thinks it's possible that a country is tapped into a way to immediately enter another country's airspace and gain complete control of it. And they reference I think it was the El Paso airport that was shut down for like 24 hours, or it was supposed to be shut down immediately, emergency for 24 hours. And then they called it back after like 2 hours. But the excuse they used for immediately shutting that airport down was that the military was testing anti-drone lasers. And they were concerned the anti-drone lasers were going to, cause problems with their aircraft, obviously. Well, first off, that doesn't check, right? Because if there's a military base in range of an airport, a federal airport, they are damn sure going to make sure that those lasers will not have any impact whatsoever on those civilian aircraft. And if they are going to, you ground and you shut off the airport before that happens. Not during. That's why that doesn't pass the smell test. There's no way. Halfway through this training exercise, some general goes, oh, you know what? These lasers might reach the airport. We didn't even think about that. We better go tell somebody. No. No. That shutdown is because we didn't have control of our airspace for a minute. Just like all these moments we've heard about over the past several years, and the media has gotten real quiet about this. But all these moments we've heard about over the last several years where these drones are swarming military bases. The New Jersey military drone flap. That wasn't even the big one, y'all. They've been flying them over our military bases, over our military battleships and cruisers. And we have been unable to stop them. What does that tell you? So I think Weinstein might be onto something there. I think there's another country or two or three or four that have this technology. And oh my God, this goes back to the Tesla bomber. Because the Tesla bomber, when he did what he did, in his letter, he wrote, they have the capability. Now, he called it anti-gravitic technology and said they have the ability to poof, appear, drop whatever payload off they want, and out. And I think he said it's game over. They would win. Instantaneously, they could drop. See, if we shoot a nuclear missile, right? As soon as we ignite it, all the nations, holy shit. Well, that's a crazy one. Okay. Let me hear it, y'all. What is this? Okay. Now we can confirm that's not a Lou Elizondo crop circle. But could it be some natural occurrence in the clouds? I don't fucking know. I'm not a weatherman. I don't know. I don't study clouds. But that legit looks like a disc traveling through our airspace, doesn't it? I don't know what else you call that. Okay, here's the original. And I think I did hear about this one. Okay, there you can see it coming out of the clouds up top. Holy shit. Wow. Okay. I'm impressed with that one. I'll wait for the Mick West explanation on that one. What up, CTX Kyle? Glad to see you here, buddy. Can you believe they dumped 3 hours of video on us? It's so crazy. I got to fill in this time with some interesting conversation. So anyway, the Tesla bomber said that was it, game over. And then you have Eric Weinstein here on this last Joe Rogan podcast saying that I think we've lost the ability to control our airspace at certain times. I mean, maybe that's why Leslie Keene can give tours in parts of New Mexico and Arizona, and they literally see things flying around with helicopters around them almost every night on a nightly basis. You could book a tour with her right now. You can look up the Ross Coulthart video where there's no special effects. They went out there with some infrared cameras and that was it. And you could clearly see dots flying around, helicopters around them. That's a good question. NHI or adversarial nation, Kyle's saying. I don't know. But after hearing the conversation Weinstein had, it sounds like adversarial nation, which is not good. I mean, I don't know what's better or worse. It would probably suck both ways, right? To know that we do not have control of our airspace at certain times, whether it be by NHI or by an adversarial nation. But maybe because of the Tesla bomber's like lack of full understanding of what it was, anti-gravitics was just the best word he could put on it. But clearly, there's something. There could be some type of technology that can interrupt our ability to monitor and see and do what we want to do in our own airspace, which is not good. Not good. I don't even see it. Where's this? Oh, here we go. We got a little dot way out there. Okay. So far, the disc-shaped UFO flying through the clouds was probably the one I'm most taken aback by. I mean, that legit. I'm going to have to clip that down myself to a shorter clip. If I try to rewind it now, this is a 3-hour video, y'all. If I try to rewind it now, it will lose our space and be a pain in the ass. But I'm going to make a longer clip of that because that was fucking crazy looking. And this is not as crazy looking, but whoever's controlling this system, these dots certainly have their interests. You wish they could zoom in a little more. Oh, that was pretty wild. But anyway, yeah, someone said the initial video where it showed all the boats and it had the little guy, looked like it was skipping through the water. That one was some type of spy balloon. I don't know why a spy balloon would skip across water, but okay. And again, here we have two of these guys in a formation. In formation. So does that mean there's actually two guys in formation or one guy that can split up? Like the UAP hearing where they showed the video where the Sidewinder hit whatever the hell, or maybe it was a Tomahawk, hit whatever the hell the thing was, and it just bounced off it, turned into a couple pieces, and then it looked like it formed back together. Nuts. Now, I remember reading an article in Time magazine in like, let's say it was like 2005, 2006, something like that, talking about some of the craziest technologies that are going to come out over the next several years. And one of them, on top of nanobots, which are nuts, but one of them was a plastique that can heal, like basically heal itself. So like if you had this on your bumper on your car, you get in a fender bender, it's automatically going to uncrumple itself and fix itself. That was in like 2005, 2006. So if you take something like that, I could see it. I could see it. Some advanced tech that we just don't know about yet. We as in us common folk. Oh, Kyle says it was a Hellfire missile. Okay. Yep. Hellfire missile. Okay. What are we looking at here? I really have no idea what this is. It looks like a... Whoa. Now, are those multiple targets? What the fuck is that? God, it's tough. Like they have no context, a lot of these. So it's tough to figure out. Like, I think we're looking at an ocean. I think. In that shot anyway. But it's tough without any context, right? And I have downloaded a lot of the paperwork, new release paperwork that they dropped as well. And I do plan on some episodes going through some of those stories as well. But not this one, because this is like I said, almost 3 hours of video. And the NASA dump, I think we got about 20 minutes of audio or so, maybe a little less than that. Okay. So yeah, so I think we have definitely been looking at the ocean the whole time. And so they're seeing these anomalies out in the ocean. Probably another reason Tim Gallaudet can speak so confidently about, I'm pretty sure there's something out in the oceans. Because if we're seeing this now, what stuff did he see that they're still not releasing? Right? Okay, there he is, little guy flying over the ocean. They catch so many of them over the ocean, don't they? That same, the one we were just talking about, the Hellfire missile that hit the UAP there, that happened over the ocean. And you see them many times over the ocean is when it seems like they get into their formations. I mean, I know there's a big group of folks that think that absolutely oceans are a part of, it takes up 80% of the earth. If you wanted to study humans, They can't breathe underwater. 80% of the planet is water. Probably a good place to hide. And I don't know what the number's up to now that what we've mapped. I think last time I checked, it was like 20 something percent, 24%, 25%. So 25% of 80% of our planet we've searched. It's interesting. They keep going back to this boat, so it must be some kind of activity going on. You know what's strange? Like that does not look like. I don't think that's a military boat. That looks like just like a rig, an oil rig. That is so weird. But I'm not seeing. Okay, so is it? It must be the activity that's going on around it. Okay. So they're picking up these guys in the ocean around the boat. Huh. Okay, so this is, yeah, I think we're looking at the ocean here, and these are things the radar is picking up in the ocean. Actually, I don't know if it's in or just above. They're very fascinated with whatever this object is. It's so strange. It's like I don't know if y'all remember the jelly UAP in Iraq. God, those were fucking weird, right? Okay. So it looks like they're trying to determine what each one of these things is. And some of them they're zooming in and it's looking like this. And that's probably what has their attention. They're going, "Oh, what the fuck is that?" What the fuck is that, Bob? I don't know. It kind of looked like the Death Star for a second, you know, not fully operational, but close. This okay, there it is. Teeny tiny guy. Okay, there's a ship. He's like, "See, when I zoom in, it looks like a ship. But when I zoom into these other things, they don't look like anything." That is that whoever the operator is that was working this drone system had to be blowing their mind. They're like, "What the fuck?" Okay, zoom in works. I can clearly see the boat. But when I zoom in all these other things, it don't work so well. Wow. Looks like some of these might have been duplicated. Probably on purpose. Actually, nope, this is a different one because this one's going for longer. So again, little white dot guy. That would indicate there's some type of signature coming off of it. I mean, I don't know what it is because we don't know what settings they're using, and all the information that you could figure that out with, they have blacked out. So we're not really sure what colors are inverted, or if it's picking up heat or if it's picking up no heat, like what kind of signature it's looking for. We don't really have that context. So it makes it difficult to decipher for sure. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know and tell you all a bunch of lies. So I'm going to be deciphered it with you. And if you have ideas what some of this shit is, please throw it in the chat, because some of this is just really incredible. I mean, again, the video of the fucking flying disc flying through the clouds like it's just another day. That's crazy shit. Okay, so yeah, that's weird. Is that a boogosphere? We have an operational boogosphere. You know, it's interesting. It looks like you can see 6 points of propulsion. You seeing that too? At the top of it, at the bottom of it, it looks like there's some kind of exhaust shooting out there. Now that's unusual because you can't see that in the other videos. But if you look real close, you can see the circle. Like, just look around it. It looks like there's these different venting points, propulsion points, possibly. That may be how it's controlling how it's moving. How strange. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that that's a light reflection. I think it's picking up some kind of exhaust almost. On the top, on the bottom, the front and the back, side to side, giving it up till the day we die. Sorry. Little West Coast WC in the Mad Circle or whatever that was called. Okay, so that's another very interesting one. So I think I'm going to have to put together like a top 10, my favorite one of these. This one definitely makes the list as far as stuff we haven't seen before. Unless I've missed it in previous releases. If I have, let me know. But I have never seen the orb or vehicle or whatever it may be that they have focused in on. What looked to be propulsion coming out of the top, the bottom, back, and in front of it. I don't think that's a reflection. Now, I could be wrong. I mean, I've never been wrong before, but just play it. All right. Yeah, see, that's different than what we've seen before, y'all. That is very different. And I imagine, again, it looks like this is over the ocean, and it must be traveling at a pretty high rate of speed. I mean, just from seeing how quick the background is going by. And again, those looks like it almost looks like it's just moving fast, and it's using these little, almost how we have those air jets on our space capsules, right? When we have to line up our space capsules, it almost looks like that's what it's doing. Like, the energy's there, it's just going, and it's on the operator to control it. Kyle thinks it looks projected. It does kind of, doesn't it? Because it's got that 3-dimensional character to it, like more than you would see in some other videos. Okay, so that one was a very interesting one, in my opinion. So 3 so far have really made me go, huh? Which isn't hard to do. I mean, I'm very easily entertained. Okay, now here we go, over a farm field. Yeah, I mean, I guess that could be a balloon. We get that a lot, I know. But we can't pretend like it doesn't happen, right? Like, it does happen. They pick up balloons because they're traveling fast. There's no known, it's not showing any means of propulsion. And so it catches the operator's attention. So it's possible that that one could be a blue. Definitely not as crazy as the last one. Yes. Predator-like skin, Kyle says, on a stealth craft. Yeah, that's like aerogel. I mean, really, you throw aerogel on a craft, it looks like the sky. So this is a sedentary, it looks like. It doesn't look like it's moving, but it has this operator's attention. Makes you wonder, too, what these missions were when they caught these things. But that must be why they black out everything. So I wonder, is that a target? And then maybe they pick up something crazy around it? So there it is again. That's a person walking. Is that a person or a giant? They're in the caves of Afghanistan. It's a giant. Gosh, I don't know, y'all. Am I missing it? Like, I'm not seeing what these operators are fascinated with. This looks like they're just monitoring, maybe targeting something. Am I just totally missing it? I must be. They're like, just put this one in. It makes these releases so frustrating. Top of the crosshairs, Kyle says. Okay, let's see. I'm going to zoom in on my own computer here. Okay. Huh. That is very strange. Yeah, that must be why I'm having a hard time seeing it, because it's a gray orb, Kyle's saying. I mean, I got my glasses on. Also, apologies if you hear the family in the background. Y'all, it's Memorial Day weekend, so we all here, we chilling. Okay, moving on here. That one wasn't very exciting. I'm sorry, folks. This next one, though. Whoa, that was wild. The fuck was that? Did y'all catch the one the other day where it was like on C-SPAN and they had it like zoomed out looking at the Capitol building, and it looked like a fucking rocket just shot by it. It was so crazy. I'll find the footage. I got it somewhere. It's pretty nuts. Man. This is a traditional Mick West balloon. I mean, I'm sure that's the explanation they're going to give this one. It feels like any smaller round thing that's moving quickly through the sky, that's solid, that doesn't like granulate a lot or seem like it gives a lot of motion away. anything like that, um, it seems to get labeled as a balloon. Now again, I don't know how a balloon could travel at that speed, but I guess there are some more heavy duty like weather balloons and scientific, those balloons that take measurements in different areas of the sky and different areas of the stratosphere. Those are a little more heavy duty. They can go a little bit higher. So maybe they can withstand some of these forces of winds blowing them so fast. But some of these definitely are not balloons. I mean, I don't know what they are, but they definitely are not balloons. Some of them. And here we have again another ocean shot. So I wonder if some of these are just like us monitoring areas that are known for piracy, right? So we keep our drones out there to monitor some of these ships passing by, make sure no pirates are going after them, and also catch weird things on camera. I mean, if you're a drone operator sitting in a box for 6 to 12 hours a day, just flying over the Atlantic Ocean, it's probably not very exciting. So you see something weird, you probably really pay attention to it. Here's another real small guy. Huh. This one's kind of towards the bottom left square of the target, sort of, or it was. Yeah, he's trying to get a better view of it as well. So that's interesting. He must have switched lenses. So that's not a software switch. That looks like a hardware switch because you'll notice the box went almost like a panoramic to like box style. So that's like a different lens. And that one worked. There it is. Very clearly. Mick West says it's a balloon. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's trying to catch it in color as well. Now he's got it on probably his preferred camera. Wow. Whoa. Okay, I'm not going to lie. That last shot did actually look like a legit just balloon. Look, it looked like you could see the string coming off of it. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Okay, right there. See? It looks like there's a string hanging off the bottom of it. Or is that a jellyfish orb? Oh, well, I don't know many balloons that do that. It's just like, no, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go that way. I mean, I know the wind does change a lot over the ocean. Highly windy area. We live by a coastline where we can only go there like 1 month out of the year, no matter how beautiful it is, because this particular coastline, if you go there and it's nice and sunny, the wind is so bad that it blows up the sand and literally it hurts your skin and your face as you're sitting there. It's just this beautiful, beautiful beach, but you can't go there unless you're like fully covered in a raincoat, even when it's nice, because the sand in your face hurts on your legs. I mean, I'm not kidding. So yeah, some ocean winds can do some wild things. That's for sure. Very powerful winds. Is that what's happening here? Is this a balloon caught up in some wind gusts, or is this a freaking jellyfish orb that they like to talk about over there at Skywatcher? I don't know. And I would be remiss to say if I knew. But it is crazy. And like, that's the other thing. You think too, the operators would know if it was a balloon. You would think, but I don't know. Everybody has to go through training, right? Maybe that's where some of this is happening. Fucking new guy zoomed in on a balloon again. God damn it, private. Give me that fucking control. Recording 8 times speed, possible changes of shape, stabilized and enhanced. Oh, this is the same thing. Changes in shape. Okay. Well, yeah. But I mean, balloons can change shape, right? Technically. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look like a balloon. And I don't want to say balloon, but it does seem like in this instance, maybe what's happening. I don't know. Some, because some of these universities, y'all, some of the balloons that some of these researchers send up in the sky are pretty hardcore and they can get them pretty high up there. I mean, look, that almost looks like a balloon, right? And I'm not talking like a normal balloon, like when you'd get your kid, like a weather testing balloon, a big giant mofo. If you ever watch Skinwalker Ranch, I think they try to put a couple of them up in the air in that show, maybe in the first or second season. And they were having problems with that. So I guess that's what happens when you mess around with powers you don't understand, right? Bad shit. I think everybody was warned by the natives about that area. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting, but this is what gets frustrating because you're like, am I looking at a fucking balloon? Like, did we just spend the last 5 minutes looking at a balloon? It changed shape. Well, yeah, I guess. Kinda. It kind of changed shape. It also could have just been like a balloon getting hit with wind gusts and stuff like that. Like, this one doesn't look as crazy as a lot of the other ones have. My number one so far, by far, is that disc. I mean, that was like a fucking flying disc. I don't know how, like, what else you call that? See there, it's like you can almost legit see the ropes underneath it because they always carry something, right? They always carry the measurement devices, and they don't tie them to like a ribbon, right? They tie them to these hardcore cables and ropes. So that could definitely be, I think, in my non-expert opinion, what this one could be. But don't be discouraged, folks. We still got a long ways to go. And I'm guessing we're going to see some more fascinating stuff. Now, I kind of take back what I said about Burchett, because that disc one did make me, that one put me back in my seat a little bit. This, meh. Okay. What's funny though is probably the disc will have the natural explanation and this will not. So don't listen to me. Okay, we're closing in on 7 minutes on this thing. Let's see. I'm kind of ready for the next one. Are y'all? I mean, this one is like, Now, what are they blacking out there? Oh, because it's zoomed in. Okay. It was probably. So this is just like the same video. They just zoomed it in. All right. We're kind of over this. Here we go. On to the next one. On to the next. On to the, that was a great song. Okay. We're back to monitoring ships in the ocean. And here we have another weird looking UAP. Couldn't tell if it went over the ship. It definitely went by the ship. This one looks a little more controlled. Whoa. Okay. Let's see again. This is one. We know what Big Quest is going to say, y'all. It's a balloon. Sure is moving for a balloon, though, isn't it? It's, in fact, I think it's moving faster than that last one. Well, it's probably the same one. Okay. And that's the other thing too, is when they invert the lens or the software, they like when they adjust the FLIR to whatever it is they're honing in on, we can't see any of that. We can't know any of that. Hey, what's up, Jared? Jared says, the stealth craft nav light behavior is exactly what the Book of Enoch describes. The Watchers operating with clear intentionality, not random, not natural, purposeful. Excited to dig into this data dump with you all. Awesome. Glad to have you, Jared. Ron wants to know if we've seen any shooting lasers at each other yet. Not yet, but we got a little ways to go. I was just discussing earlier how the airport shutdown in New Mexico happened, and they said it was because the local military base was testing lasers to shoot down drones with, but didn't inform the local airport, I guess, that it could have interfered with their flights. So yeah, that's a complete bullshit cover story. And how Eric Weinstein is convinced that there are other countries, maybe just one, possibly multiple other countries, that have the ability to control sections of our airspace at their will, which is, you know, pretty strong card to have in your hand. Oh, this is an interesting one. So it looked like it was going, did like a double back, didn't it? It was going, stop. Oh, here we go. One of these guys. Now, these are the ones I find it harder to believe that they're a balloon, because it looks like they are moving with intention. And here's another one where, is that a formation, or are all three of those things part of the same body? And whatever this tech is has the ability to split, and, you know, like the T1000 liquid metal. You know, you split up, come back together, melt down, come back together, freeze, come back together. T1000 was crazy, unstoppable. But he didn't count on Arnold. Okay, so it was a 1, 2, 3, at least 3, possibly 5 of them there. That's not a fucking balloon, y'all. And this is, it does not zoomed in because we know that because we can see the full information that's being blacked out. So we know they haven't zoomed in yet. And they are struggling at full lens range to keep this thing in the frame. These things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Wow. Okay, so I'm still looking for the one on this shot. Must be why they're adjusting the lens. They seem fairly certain that they're looking at something, but I can't see it. Do y'all see anything in there? Maybe they did see something, and the last time they saw it was here. But I literally don't see anything in this frame. They do. All right, you know what I think I'm going to do? Get a little background music going here. And it can't be copywritten music, but I think I got a few things here. It's better than listening to just me breathe, right? And again, they're stuck on this location, but I don't see anything. I literally don't see anything. There we go. A little background music for y'all. Well, this is getting boring. I don't see anything. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Here. That looks very interesting. Yeah. Wow. That's fucking wild. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we want to see, right? So there's 3. Another possible grouping. 3, 1, 2, so 5. Possibly 6. 6 balloons, as McWest would call them. We got 6 balloons. And again, flying in what appears to be a formation. All right, so we're back out at the ocean. I couldn't tell if that was an oil rig or a ship. Whoa. And this is a thing, like, so this one right here, I don't think is a balloon, right? Because this was something that like popped up and caught the operator's attention so much, he removed his focus away from what they're looking at. And now they're tracking the exact 7 meters, 2 meters, 5 meters. They got a good lock on it. Now there's stories that back in the day, like in Russia and shit, they would tell them to shoot them down. So like if they could get them in a lock like this, they'd be like, hey, shoot them down. But then word is that they lost 3 MiGs and 1 pilot, and they stopped. They stopped shooting at them and they started just monitoring them. And there's a story we talked about a long time ago from the Russian UFO files about the unit that shot a rocket launcher at a UFO and hit it. And the UFO came down, but then like turned into beings. And these beings kind of like formed an orb and dropped this ball thing on the ground, and it turned all these soldiers to stone, like literal. I can't remember what kind of stone it was. But yeah, literal stone. And then they took off in their orb shape. Oh, wow. Oh, that's pretty amazing. What is that? My God. Is that an angel? A demon. I can't. That is, So I'm going to go out on a limb and say this one isn't a balloon either. Whoa. What on earth is that? I think you're right, Ron. Might be leftovers from the real Star Wars. From a galaxy far, far away a long time ago. That is crazy looking. Okay. This looks like another one, maybe over the ocean. Yep. Can you imagine what the operator must have been thinking as he zoomed in on this thing? Mom, some at work, and what the fuck is that? What is that, y'all? That's like, I wonder if that's plasma, right? We're hearing a lot about plasma. Whoa. That was nuts. It was like, oh, I'm being recorded. Bye. Wow. I remember the Pope gave this really interesting, not the current Pope. It was, I think, maybe 2 popes ago, but basically they said, or it might have been Francis. I don't know. Either way, what they said was what we could be seeing are angels and demons, but we've lost our grounding and our like touch with God or whatever. And so our minds can't even interpret what we're seeing. And so we interpret them as some kind of a technology or something. But really, all this activity are angels and demons. And then you see that pick up all this steam in some of these circles in the disclosure groups talking about angels and demons. And I just think it's really interesting how all that gets tied in. That was pretty crazy looking. See, and that's like, how could a balloon do that? Yeah. I mean, I know the wind does some freaky things like I was talking about earlier at the coast, but I don't know if it's that crazy. Wow. Again, 3 of them. Or is it just the one? Because now there's 4 of them. See, I don't know how you explain that by saying that it's a balloon. One, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Again, boy, that 5 number sure is popular. Oh, now what is that? Oh, okay, that must be a ship. So they are, yeah, they're over the ocean still. So they're up looking down at these guys over the ocean. Look at how they all just shift at once. I mean, that is... That's not a balloon. Or 5 balloons operating in unison. Sorry, it's not. Could it be drones? Sure. Could it be US tech or some other country's tech? Absolutely. But they're not balloons. Those aren't. There's no fucking way. Let's see. Ron says the last 3 orbs were following a jet in its jet stream, then came out and went south through the clouds. Wow. Okay, so now we're back over the ocean again. Wow. So there's several of them spread apart at a pretty good... What the fuck? Hold up. I gotta see that again. I'm sorry, y'all. What the fuck? Okay. This one right here. So you see the dots, right? How far they're separated? Watch their motion. They all move at once. That's not the camera. Y'all see that? What the fuck was that? Wow. Okay. So where are we? We're almost halfway through these videos. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to switch it up to the NASA recordings and then jump back over to the rest of the videos to close it out. But I'm going to give my voice a break for just a moment here while we check out some of these NASA recordings. We're going to pause this. First, we're going to look at this. Oh, wow. That is like high def. Sneaky, sneaky. What on earth? I guess this is another one where they could say, oh, it's just a spy balloon. It's just some advanced spy balloon. And I guess it could be. But then the question, that just begs the question, then why would they include it in this dump? Right? If it's our stuff, why would we want to put I don't know. It's all a very, very weird game. Wow. So yeah, this must be one of the high def ones they were talking about. We got high def UFO pictures and videos. You see these, you won't sleep at night. I think you'll be okay. That is so wild. And that one, I mean, based on that last one where they said the last one several videos ago said it shape shifted. That looked like a shape shift to me. Okay. So I'm going to put this on pause right here. We're going to check out these NASA recordings, and then we'll get back to these videos. These are pretty wild too, folks. Now I did burn in the closed captions, so everything should be readable as far as what they're saying. Hopefully it put the right words in there.
Very bright particles or fragments or something that go drifting by as we maneuver.
Roger, understand.
There's a whole bunch of big ones out my window down there. Just bright. Looks like the 4th of July out Ron's window. Yeah, and now you can see some of them in shape. They're very jagged, angular fragments that are tumbling.
Right, they look like fluid of some sort?
Not to me. They look like pieces of something.
Roger.
They're very bright.
Jack, we'd like Omni Charlie.
Side of the S4 abilities, if you had some kind of a, I got the impression maybe they were curved a little bit, as if they might be off the side of the S4B. That's a wild guess.
Okay, RCS logic is
ice chunks, possibly. Maybe there's paint coming off of it.
Right, I noticed on one trip up the elevator last week, one of the flags, I thought it was in the S2, but it might be on the S4, looked like it was peeling. Maybe that's what you got. And the S4B maneuver is complete.
1 minute. Okay, we'll set 2 o'clock.
Okay, and with the maneuver complete, the fragment field is essentially static, except for very slight tumbling within the fragment.
Roger, copy that.
Every once in a while, a fragment of considerably higher velocity than the others goes across my window, but that's very rare.
Roger.
Okay, that's that field of view I saw on my window. Jack, you see it now? Yeah.
Bob, at least there's no apparent relative motion between fragments.
I do understand.
I'll take 2 pictures about a minute apart if I can, and it'll be frame 70.
Okay, frame 70.
And Bob, my impression is that they are flat flake-like particles, some maybe 6 inches across, and although there's no relative motion between the two, most of them seem to be twinkling, and I think for the most part they're all moving away from us.
And now at 1 hour at this time, I now have 1 hour and 21 minutes, and I am observing John's fireflies drifting away from me. I can observe them appear to be departing from the spacecraft and drifting out to the rear. I can see some of them a considerable distance out to the rear. Sun is coming up behind me. I'm beginning to get the glow on the clouds. Fireflies appear to be white, very whitish, with almost a green like real fireflies. Clouds on the earth below are changing color, are getting quite light.
Oh, come on.
There's a faint hint to it. Is where there are.
You know what that was? I swear to God, they put that in there. They're like, listen, this will get people to tune out. Just put like 3 minutes of white noise in there. I don't know how I missed that in my editing. You know what it was? I was getting so many things prepared at once that I missed it. And so y'all have had to listen to some white noise that you probably didn't have to listen to. And I subjected you to it. And for that, I'm sorry. I let you down as your podcast host. It'll never, ever happen again. Yes, super sensible fireflies, right? Fireflies. Fireflies in space?
Clouds, apparently. Roger and White, phase 7, reading you loud and clear. Roger to White, phase 7, reading you loud and clear. Roger, understand. Roger, I'm just small end forward, 180 degree yaw, approaching sunrise, over. Roger. These small luminescent particles drift away from you, small end forward. In this light, they appear brilliant white without paint at all in them. They appear to move on out, curve around back towards the flight path. Can't hear, I don't think.
Roger, you haven't seen the beacon at this time.
Negative, I still haven't seen the beacon.
Sure.
What the fuck is the bacon? Anybody want to
There was
enlighten me?
considerable noise, though, as if something were departing.
Again, 7.
There was considerable noise of the little doors. Sounded like the little doors blowing open, so I assume the beacon has departed.
Roger, understand. TM looks real good.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I was just thinking that. It must be a closed caption error. They're saying beacon, not bacon. Okay, so they're not that crazy on the code words, but we know they use them. They have to, and they use channels that we can't monitor.
On the ground.
Roger. Lady 28 and a half.
We had a slight decrease in the true length on DC current. Would you give us a readout?
Roger, DC current. Roger, main bus is 24. Isolated 28 and a half.
Roger. Hey, good. Good, it was Wally. Did you have anything to eat?
Negative, not yet.
Okay, so to answer the question on the beacon, some of the early Apollo missions would deploy the Early Apollo Scientific Experiment Package, or the EASEP. That was on the moon. They also put out a laser ranging retro refractor, the LRRR. It wasn't a radio beacon, but a passive optical target. Yeah, so it looks like they're, and also Command Module Columbia and Lunar Module Eagle both transmitted radio telemetry tracking signals, and so they would put out beacons for their communications as well. Or you can go with what Ron says. It's bacon and the 20,000 liters of maple syrup that was heisted. It is starting to make wheat. You know what? It wasn't Jewish laser cannons. It was U.S. maple bacon cannons, and we were beaming it up, not down. That's what I love about having Ron in the place.
Like your information, systems-wide computations on fuel at Hawaii gave you 8-8 auto, 9-8 manual, which is somewhat better than you're indicating on board.
Roger, on board I'm indicating 9-6 and 102. Oh boy, what a beautiful shot of Florida.
Roger, looks good from here once in a while too.
Roger, the whole strait is clear. I can see just about off. There's been a beautiful view coming over Florida.
I want to know how I can file a complaint with NASA. All this dead air is probably driving people away from my channel. Look at it. I'm at 13. Still nothing. Wow. I was like over 2 minutes of dead air. What a waste. I should have edited this much better. My apologies, y'all. I assumed they'd be talking the whole time.
Down 180, y'all. I got here on manual proportional control. I'm at last daylight going into dark. Have been looking for the flashing beacons. 50518 now. 28, I'm sorry, not 18. There's light in sight. It is below me. It's quite a brownish, reddish brown, and considerable altitude above the ground. Time I fire a pitch down thruster, I get a shower of these little fireflies. It is flashing now. It is the light. It's quite bright, quite discernible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Appears to be about 10 to 12 miles away. I'm keeping it directly in the window. At the order of a second magnitude star now.
There's some pretty stars in sight. And also have the little white objects that seem to come from the capsule itself and drift off. And if they are a yaw check, it's fantastic. I suspect that the star I see is Arcturus. Will be very interesting. It is neither.
A tourist. I suspect it is a tourist. Okay, sir.
It is one of the white objects. So 2 stars are staying quite still. The white object actually looked like it came toward me, but it wasn't.
Wow. And it, like, if you've had your ear to the ground on this kind of stuff, sorry to interrupt, but there was recently a NASA astronaut that came out. I'm sorry, not an astronaut. He was a medical officer for the astronauts. So all the astronauts that went to space would come back down and talk with him afterwards and before, right? He's their doctor. And he said every single astronaut he spoke with saw things up there. Sometimes it would seem like a random sighting of an orb or something far away. Other times it would seem like they were actually maneuvering with the ships or the capsules as they were navigating them. And that came out, I want to say it's some point last year. I'll see if I can pull up their information in case y'all are interested in that. But yeah, pretty fascinating. Now we're finally hearing the audio. Like, these are the best of the best, y'all. These are not kooks we sent up to space. Especially in these early years. You want to know what it took to get to space as a pilot in the early years? Go watch The Right Stuff, and that still won't give you even half a taste of the shit these guys had to go through. The level of performance, any little error can cost people's lives. Right? You can't like just accidentally flip the wrong switch because you're having a bad day. These are very well tuned in, high IQ people talking about visitors that they're seeing in space.
You see the particle there going off, as John described it, as a lathe shaving. It's a very good description of it. My rates are now just about 0 in all 3 axes. I still have light in the periscope, of course. I'm looking straight up, and yet at this point, you can see that my attitude is, I get the couch here, I really can't pick it too well. Yeah, I'm just about inverted at this point. And my nose is above the horizon. As a result, I notice that these particles keep tending after me, relative to me, at any time. Periscope is blacking out rather rapidly at sunset. It's almost blacked out completely at this point, and is really not usable. Light in the, getting a real burst of light in the window, and I really don't know what it is. At this point, I should be coming up on a sunset. 5 hours, 15 minutes. Periscope is dark. I must be just getting a last look at the horizon, yet I'm not down on it.
Well, there's an object on the line in the water. It's about 160 degrees. The ISA and people who suspect anything time marker that didn't activate. It's about 3/4 of a mile out. Well, maybe a capital out to the left out. We take a check on going.
I have some more of the white particles in view below the capsule. They appear to be traveling exactly my speed. There is one drifting off. It's going faster than I am, as a matter of fact.
Roger, understand.
I haven't seen the great numbers of these particles, but I've seen a few of them. Their motion is random. They look exactly like snowflakes to me.
Roger, have you tried return?
Negative. Let me get within scanner limits first.
Say again.
Okay, get in scanner limits first. If you've tried return, I wonder if maybe they're trying to get him to switch over to another radio or something.
Must adjust my attitude to within scanner limits first.
Roger.
This is like 60 seconds later.
There were some more of those little particles. They definitely look like snowflakes this time.
Roger.
understand your particles look like definite snowflakes.
However, it's Roger.
Wow. That was crazy, y'all. That's crazy. And I found the information. Dr. Gregory Rogers, he's a retired NASA chief flight surgeon. And you can find him on some podcasts out there. Just go look for him. But he talks about, after he retired, he talks about astronauts and the stories they would tell him. And like I said, the thing that stuck with me the most was sometimes they would seem random, almost like that gentleman was saying, like, oh, it's going faster than the craft, or, oh, it doesn't look like it's doing anything. Or sometimes it would seem like they were moving and actually maneuvering with the craft. And other astronauts had some really intense experiences with some of these things in space. And those, the early days of space were just starting to get out there. And so, if there's extraterrestrials out there and maybe they monitor technological advances in certain civilizations or something, maybe that's a way we got their attention, or more of their attention. Who knows? But yeah, Dr. Gregory Rogers, highly encourage you to check that out if you're interested in this stuff. It's crazy. Okay, let's get back to our Department of War videos. Here we go. So we left off here. We had this high def view, but it was just kind of this little black orb guy. I don't know if you ever saw it. There was that one video I remember where it showed it looked like a UFO, UAP, kind of an orb thing, and it just flew right through the wall. It was like a cliff wall, and it just like flew. It looked like it flew right into it. It was crazy. Yeah, probably super sensible. I would not, surprise me. And it's interesting. You hear a couple different astronauts, I think, reference the same Firefly thing. And I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but fireflies actually cannot survive in space. It's true. All right, so we saw the orb, and I don't know if this operator lost it. What's crazy is, we have to have some of these Reaper drones out there that are like 100% AI. That's fucking scary. And I don't know, what is that it right there? Is it just, no, I'm sorry, that's a shadow. So I'm going to take a wild guess and say this is maybe Afghanistan, possibly, or thereabouts. Some really interesting video come out of the Middle East. That's where that weird looking jelly orb thing that went over that black operations site that no one could see or detect was over in the Middle East in Iraq. But yeah, it looks a bit desert-ish out there, I'm going to say. And this is another one of those, I don't know if I'm missing it, but I don't see anything interesting yet. But that's the thing. I know as soon as I hit fast forward, it's going to like fly right by or something. Come on. What are we looking at here, folks? Yes, thank you, Kyle. What the heck? This is like, let's just put this 4-hour nothing video up. Piss off a bunch of UFO nuts. Oh, nice, Patrick. So Patrick say if you go to the descriptions, like when you go and download them. That's awesome. Let me go to my file. Okay, that makes sense then. Why this is, some of these are like just, it makes you wonder, like, why do it that way? You know? All right, let's see. More desert. There we go. Now we can see it. It's cruising. That is one fast balloon. And again, for all these compile videos, for all the ones that they say that the debunkers try to say are balloons, I think they're right a small percentage of the time. I think, sometimes it is just the new guy operating the drone that doesn't know what he's picked up, and it looks crazy to him, so he starts tracking it. But I think in other instances like this one, you have experienced drone operators that know what they're looking at is not normal. It's not a balloon. So I guess it just comes down to the source, and then why are these the videos that are included in the dump? Because it certainly can't be everything, but we have seen some very wild stuff on here. Does it have one that goes in a stone wall? So I was talking earlier about one that flew into a stone wall. It was a video that came out a long time ago. It was pretty crazy. Okay, yeah, so this is interesting. I'm guessing this is a little bit older, possibly. Wow, now that does almost look like a disc. And it makes you think, like, was there ever like flying discs, flying saucers? Or that's just the closest thing that we could say that they looked like. That's why I changed my logo, because I used to have the ipso facto, prototypical UFO with a beam coming down from the bottom of it. I was like, God, I don't think I've seen many of them that look like that. If any. Well, now there was that one video earlier. That was pretty crazy. Right. Saucer looks like a cigar if it's from the side. Yeah, it's a great point. All right. So again, this is back to, is there 3 of them? Is there 1 of them? Is there 5 of them? We can't tell. Right now it looks like 3. But we watched earlier as 1 became 2, became 3, became 5, transformed back to 1. That's totally normal balloon behavior. Yeah, this one is a trip. And this operator knows this is strange. He's keeping up with it. He's doing a good job. Wow. I wonder how fast. God, I wish we could see the data. We would know how fast this thing was actually going. But if you're in a drone and you're 1,000, 2,000 feet above it, possibly, and you're still having a hard time keeping it in frame, that thing's cruising. Wow. Oh, that's legit, Patrick. I'll have to do that. And for everybody else, if you've downloaded these and gone through these, that's a great tip. Descriptions in the first and second paragraphs and tells you timestamp what happens. Yep. I will. I think what so this is like all the videos. I just wanted to put the whole dump out there. And then I'm kind of picking out my favorites from these. And I plan on doing a couple of shows down the road, going over like a top 10 or a top 20 or something. Because some of these I'm not that impressed with, to be honest, but some of them I'm very impressed with, and very taken aback by. So those top ones that I do, I'm definitely going to follow your tip there and get more information on those particular ones specifically. That's wild. That thing looks like it's cruising too. Jeez. Wow. Well, I said it earlier. We have some more people in the room now, so I'll say it again. Happy Memorial Day weekend, y'all. I hope you're having a good weekend so far. And much, much gratitude, love, and thanks to all the veterans and also in particular the veterans who pay the ultimate cost, so that we can sit here and talk about crazy UFO videos, right? And we could have the freedom to do that. So happy Memorial Day, and a huge thanks to all the veterans and those that have really given it all for our freedom. Is that what you think, Patrick? Patrick thinks it's a slow drip. I'm hearing that a lot. This slow drip analogy. Yeah, where they kind of want to walk out disclosure piece by piece by piece. Yeah, there's so many different theories that go through your head, right? Because you're like, hold on, if the government's saying, now I'm not sure if I trust what they're telling me, right? Like, I didn't start thinking of most of these things as being just advanced tech until I started really deep diving and thinking about what I did in the service and how the equipment that we had was literally about 30 years ahead of where the rest of society was. And this was in the early 2000s. So, and they had this stuff 10, 20 years before then. Crazy. So yeah, so some of this could definitely be, and I've tried to drop teasers here and there on X and stuff like aerogel, different researchers, science, and could these missing scientists have something to do with this kind of slow drip disclosure as well? It's kind of scary to think about, but also very exciting, right? The part I'm concerned about is exactly what I was harping on earlier, was energy. The energy is going to be the thing. Because if we wow, that was crazy looking. Because if we realize we can propel craft with no liquid fuel, then people are slowly going to start thinking, well, why can't my lights turn on without liquid fuel or fossil fuels? And then you have this industry that's been the top dog for over 100 years, very not happy about that, right? So that's one thing I'm very concerned about, is what this will do to the energy sector. And has the energy sector been doing things to try to, maybe they can't prevent it, but maybe they can delay it, right? We take these top scientists out of these top fields. We're not going to stop it, but we'll throw a wrench in it. It's another 20, 30, 40 years. It's another 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 trillion. It's a lot of dough. Those amounts of money, a person's just a speed bump at that point. You're going to stop $50 trillion? No, you're not. You in what army? And are these fucking scientists finding out? It's fucking terrifying. Oh yeah, Patrick, I get it. I get it too. You know, they can be the one trying to look at it from a glass half full perspective. How we can convince these folks, you know, you're still going to make a shit ton of money. It's just going to be different, and it's not going to be as much. You know, maybe it's $1 billion instead of $1 trillion. I'm sorry, you're not going to have 4 yachts. You're just going to have 1. I know it's a travesty. But I don't think these people are going to accept that. I just don't. And I think we've seen over the years, what happened to the car engine that could run on steam? You all know this story. This is a smart group in here, right? Some company bought it and put it on a shelf. You can't get it because they want you to fucking buy oil. They control how much oil gets released and at what times. We're sitting on a shit ton of oil. All things to think about as part of this disclosure. Is a big part of that discussion is going to be energy. And are these energy companies going to stop fighting this? Because that's who I think has been a big part of holding us back, are these energy sectors that don't want to lose another $1 trillion. Right. Absolutely, Patrick. It's crazy. They do. They murder the guys who invent those amazing inventions. And like, how many stories are like that? Y'all, we've heard them. You got a guy who's smart as hell as an engineer, but he's just a different character who literally develops like a new way for energy. And what happens to him? He dies and the government comes and they just take all the science out of his garage. Let's take it. Oh, sorry. It's classified now. I'm just taking it. Defense of the country. Really? Okay. All right, so here's now we got 3 of these guys cruising along. Oh, what up, Psionic? Good to see you in the house. Happy holidays. Yes, absolutely. Thanks for the service, veterans. Still never seen an alien, huh? Advanced tech is all I can say for certain. Yeah, so I have seen, you know, I've told my stories plenty of times. I only have 2 of them. But well, I actually have 3 now, which is just fucking crazy. But one of them is I'm still going back and forth whether it was just this intense dream or a real experience. But the advanced tech thing, I'm definitely with you. I know what I saw when I was a kid laying on that hill. I know I saw a triangle craft in the sky, stop, make a 90-degree turn, and take off. I know exactly what I saw. And some people think, well, like we're seeing right here, we're seeing these 3 guys right here that could make a triangle. And I think both things can be true. I think we can have these orbs that make triangles and people can mistake them for triangle craft. But I also think we've had, maybe not us, but some of our contractors have had triangle craft that kind of defy what we understand as physics. Oh, I love it. Ron dropping some knowledge here. Some guy tech welded some coarse grade stainless steel wool onto a couple of stainless steel rods wrapped with fiberglass mat, small copper wire connection at the bottom. Yeah, it's like there's a few stories, I'm sure the folks in this room come to the top of our minds of these people over the years that they make these breakthroughs and weird shit happens and we never see the science again. Obviously Tesla, like that goes, pretty much without saying. And there's a whole boatload of them that they claim to make some breakthrough. They even show some examples of the breakthrough they've made and then they're gone. And so is their work. It's a crazy thing to think about. And like I said, I am not convinced it's our government. I'm more convinced it's a foreign government or private industry. Because if you don't think some of these giant corporations don't have special forces level security, you need to pay attention because they do. Heard of Blackwater? Yeah. Think of how much that's advanced in 20 years. They didn't stop after Iraq. They're bigger. So this is another 3. And this, again, it looks like this is another one where it looks like they're maybe over the ocean. So let's, around finishing up his story, it's electrolysis until the 2 are connected. And there's a circuit. I love it. I love it. And I keep teasing Ron. We are going to do an episode on your dialectic vortex technology. But first, I have to consult with the one gentleman I know who has the highest IQ. And of course, someone like that is in high demand. So, but as soon as I hear back from him, if we get scheduled time, we're definitely doing an episode on your technology, 100%. At least what sense we can make of it. And then maybe we'll see if you'll come on sometime and talk with us about it. Because I'm interested. I'm interested. All right. So these are the same 3 guys, I think. Yep. Same 3 guys. Man, as they're just cruising in a formation. That is 100% what it looks like. And then at times you're having a hard time telling how many of them there are. Is it just 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 5? Is it all of the above? I mean, I think it's definitely a level of technology that's just beyond us as far as what's available in the civilian sector. Not saying it's beyond us at White Sands. Let's just say, for example. Just throw it out there. And maybe, could be Florida, could be White Sands, New Mexico. Maybe we have technology like this. but we don't necessarily control it. And maybe that's why our military keeps watching it. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there to be aware of. But it's like, it's not like it's just governments we have to worry about, y'all. It's these private industries as well, who some of which have the same gross domestic product as other countries. And so it's easy for a company like Raytheon to hide a $100 billion special access program. They don't have to follow the same rules as a government entity. And if you're out there with shit that the military can barely track and figure out what it is, aren't you more powerful than that military at that point? Because at that point, you could take it out before they even see you. Kind of like similar to what we did in, I'm not going to think of the name now, where we just stole their president. We hit those people with some type of directed energy weapon. I don't know. Microwave, laser, LRAD, I don't know. But we hit those security folks so bad with this thing that they were puking over themselves and falling over and didn't know what was going on before we even landed our choppers. So there's technology out there that'll blow your mind. Yeah, that's a good one. Psionic ELF. Yep. These are all things. And I did an episode a little while ago on DEWs. I think we've done a couple of them on DEWs. Eric Hecker's been on a couple times. We've talked about directed energy weapons. And I remember one time I was just covering like a live newscast where it was Hegseth, and he was at this Southern Forward Operating Base. And this general's walking him through the different types of equipment that they're using. And this general comes up to this LRAD and starts talking about, yeah, we have these deployed all across the border and this and that and the other. And I was like, oh my God, I don't think they know this is on live news. Or they do. And that's the whole point. I don't know. But if you think maybe they thought instead of a wall, we'll just put a bunch of LRADs so that when you start walking towards the border, it burns, right? Yeah, you can't. It burns you. It makes it feel like your skin is melting off of your bones. So you turn around, you go back to Mexico. Is that what we're doing? I don't know. They don't share that information with me, that's for sure. Because I blab it away just like I'm doing right now. So we got an individual UFO. Oh my God, he called it a UFO. Yep, individual UFO. What would McWest call that? A parafraction. Oh, whoa, where'd that other one come from? What was that? That was crazy. Okay, that was probably a bird. Okay, so this is not a bird. If it's a bird, then this drone operator sucks. Here's another one flying into the picture. See, that's not a bird. Birds don't fly like that, y'all. Huh. I think I would have stuck with that second one that just went through or that one back there. What the hell is going on? So we've got multiple bogeys. Multiple bogeys, y'all. 1, 2, you can see that one at the top of the screen above the black bar, barely. Oh, just went out of sight. So I'm going to say this is over an ocean again. Oh, wow. And I have not watched these yet. So what you're seeing for me is 100% genuine reaction. I put these in my Final Cut, linked them all together, processed it, and now we're watching it. I have not even watched these. And some of them are very incredible. And some of them are, okay. But yeah, I've seen a few that have been really jaw-dropping. Holy shit, here's another disc. Wow. Is that a disc or a ball? Wow. What would you call that, y'all? Is that a balloon? I guess it could be a balloon if they had the wrong angle. Whoa. Wait, what? The outlines in the ground there, am I crazy or are those kind of weird? Like, that's like a, maybe I can get a better pause. So much of this video is shit when you pause it. All right, that. The fuck is that? That's weird. Okay, so now when I get closer like this, that's when I start doubting a balloon. Maybe it's not a balloon. It's a good candidate to call a balloon. I'm sure Mike West will label that a balloon. But I don't know if I would agree with them as much on this one. This is very interesting just because it is a clearer picture, even though it seems like they've downgraded it to release it. But it is a clearer picture. And this operator, I don't know if he's going to follow a fucking balloon this long. Again, unless he's like new guy. Probably not. I mean, but possible, right? Yes, and I'm sorry, with the 3-hour show, you are going to have to see me and my disgusting habit. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's been with this for a minute, right? It's interesting because they never seem to fly like a straight line, like when I think about like our fighter jets or any jet really, right? We've got the wings, we've got the tails, and it's a straight line. Now, of course, there's millions of adjustments a pilot is making in the cockpit to keep it straight, but it's just a straight line. And a lot of these ones, especially the ones they seem to capture closer to the upper atmosphere, stratosphere, do this really quick movements back and forth, like super crazy. And like sometimes I've wondered if there's just some type of life force, some type of life that survives in the upper stratosphere and feeds on, I don't know, something up there. Or plasma. Could it be a plasma? Do some forms of plasma maybe have consciousness or contain some level of consciousness? It's really weird. But when I see them moving like this, weaving back and forth and up and down, it makes me wonder if we're doing it right. See, when I see him do this, like that could also be a balloon caught up in some kind of a jet stream, right? So yeah, I can see Mick West saying this one's a balloon, 100%. Probably already has. I wish we could know where this was. I bet someone really good at Google Maps can figure a lot of this out. I would imagine we might see some of that come out down the road. People figuring out where these things took place, where the locations for the video was. Or maybe Patrick's right. It's actually in the description where the location is if it's not classified. Let me find my original. Damn, well, I'm trying to see the descriptions that Patrick that you mentioned earlier, but I'm not seeing them. I'm working on a Mac. Maybe it's on the website. I'll have to check the website again. Because I just did like the mass download. You can go on there, y'all, and you can download everything at once. Both the video files, the audio, and like the unclassified files now that they let out. And we are going to do another episode on some of these unclassified episodes, because some of these are very, very interesting. And there's stories that have been out there, but knowing that the powers that be have held on to them tells us something. Because if it was bullshit, it'd go in the bullshit pile, right? They get shredded and lit on fire or whatever. So clearly they didn't think it was bullshit. And some of the FBI investigative stuff is some of the better stuff I've seen in this field. I know, Psionic. I was kind of debating whether to play music over it or not. But it's like 3 hours, and I figured I played music a little bit earlier, but I figured if I kept it going the whole time, eventually I'd get to a song where I'd get struck on that they just yank it. So yeah, unfortunately you just have my lame voice, unless, let me see, we can turn back on some background music here. This stuff I know we won't have a copyright problem with. In fact, let's play your song. Now, this is a song that Psionic the Hedgehog made for the Gabriel Speaks show. It's actually kind of cool. A little bit. Again, this is a custom song Psionic the Hedgehog made for the Gabriel Speaks podcast. He actually made me a few of them, which are all amazing. The one that sings about how wonderful I am, I can't play. I have a hard time playing it because it's just weird hearing yourself. I don't know. But I do love the music. Okay, so there's our jet. Ooh, look at that. That's not a jet. Yeah, that was definitely not a jet. And these are the ones that usually get pretty interesting. These ones above the clouds. Oh, wow, that thing was cruising. I don't know if y'all missed it. It was right at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, you lost it. Oh, monitoring a submarine from a drone. Why would we be doing that? I wonder if that's an Epstein submarine. It's off to Little St. James. Maxwell's back there piloting it. What a fucking world, man. Hell yeah, Psionic. Anytime, man. Yes, if you are in the market for some original tunes where you won't get copyright stricken, hit Psionic up. Actually, I'll play the other instrumental one you made after this, which is also rad. So we saw one, and then he picks up on another one, so two. He's like, where'd that other one go? He's waiting for his buddy. And again, and I hate to harp on this, but for these debunker guys to be like, hey, it's a fucking balloon, is really saying that you don't think the people operating these drones know what the fuck they're doing. It's like I said, that could maybe happen once in a while, but you think every single one is like that? You're a fool. That can't be. Some of these drone operators have to be highly experienced drone operators, and they stick with them. So what does that tell you? They know it's not a fucking balloon. They know the difference. So this is another tune Psionic made for the show. More of a punk feel. I love it. There we go. Okay. There it is. Little guy cruising. That's got to be difficult too if they don't put out a heat source to actually track with them. Okay, so now I see 2 of them. 3 of them? Possibly 3. Definitely saw 2. 2, 3. 3 of them. 4. 5. What the fuck? He's like, hold up, I gotta back up. Let's try this again. Where are these things? So clearly his primary target is the sub. But he's picking these things up that he cannot ignore. Oh, I agree, Psionic. I think I think sometimes it is valid, right? But definitely not as much as they say it is. You're right. It's 100% lazy research. And I don't claim to be any of that, so I don't have to do all the research. But I'm just saying, yeah, we know what you're doing. We know what y'all are doing. We see you out there, all you deniers. I get it. Because if you admit, okay, it's probably going to be easier for people to accept that this is human advanced technology. And it makes me wonder if that's like where the government is headed. They're like, okay, we know we have a record of us obfuscating and saying the stealth bomber, you know, was probably a UFO or something. The general that supposedly went to the bar or whatever. And the, oh God, I can't even remember the name of the plan. The plan where some commanders at Air Force places would hold what they called a classified briefing and tell them about aliens, but really it was just a test to see who would keep their fucking mouth shut and who wouldn't. And they knew certain people wouldn't keep their mouth shut, and they were okay with that because they would rather have people believe there were aliens flying around instead of their new stealth bomber. That's how important that classification was to them. Cut forward to now, and you've got these yahoos saying they're going to release we're going to disclose everything, They're all saying, you know, like jokers like Lou Elizondo, it's, you know, it's not us. It's some other being. It's some other intelligence. But really what will happen is it's all going to end up being our shit. Or some other country's shit. And that's what they'll tell us. Because that will be easier for people to accept than ultra-terrestrials, extraterrestrials, future humans, lost civilizations from the past, whatever your theory is. It's easier for the mind to go, oh yeah, I knew that there was some smart guys out there. Yep, they developed some crazy technology, these drones that can merge together and break apart, and they don't need gas, and they run off some weird, you know, energy that we don't fully understand, whatever. I think it's easier for the human brain to accept that than to say it's alien. And I wonder if that's what they're going to do. They're going to come out and they're going to say, okay, well, Lou Elizondo was our distraction. Lou Elizondo was the present day Richard Doty. His job was to go out and get people to believe that this technology was alien technology because we needed to keep it classified. Just like we did around Roswell or whatever when we were building the Stealth. Yeah, that video was wild. Hold on. We had, here we go. Just a balloon. Just a balloon a military operator got fascinated with. That's all. All right, we've gone full dark. This is the extra classified version. Okay, that's kind of weird. But is that just a oh, you know what? Was that the UFO that we shot down? Is that what we just saw there? I don't know if y'all remember, but a little while ago, about 3-4 years ago, Biden ordered the shoot down of these balloons, UFOs, hovering over the United States and Canada. And that literally looked like it opened with an explosion. So I wonder if that's the military vision of that impact. So there's the target. Missile makes contact. Boom. It's gone. And then you see the fighter plane come in afterwards. Right there in the targeting system. Wow, that's interesting. So that could have been a view maybe they were using from a submarine or something like that. That's crazy. Ooh. Okay, we've got some audio here. I'm going to hit. That's not the place. What the fuck was that? Oh, man. See, this is why. Here we go. Okay.
Right here. We don't know. Yes, you don't know. It's not normally that. Yeah, that's not the place.
We definitely did not see that whole video, y'all. No way. That was one little portion of it. So this, why does this look like it was shot on a cell phone? Did it leak on a cell phone? It's so weird, but all the data is blacked out. Such a strange format, but also very weird object they're focused in on there. Looks to have some kind of lighting. There's also something behind it to the bottom right, little orb down there. Very interesting. I'm really not sure what it is we're looking at. That little orb in the bottom right has not gone away yet. Okay, now it's out of vision, but probably just because it's behind that blackout marker. Okay, well, that was strange. Little gray guy back there. kind of to the upper left of the target. Well, you can probably see it now. It's moving towards the center of the target. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's definitely. So I think what I'm going to do is take some time over the next week and probably get my favorite videos out of this drop and expand on them. Get whatever information I can on them as far as if we know anything about location, if there's any reports about that particular interaction, any dates, any times, locations. We'll try to get all that stuff together for y'all. And then we'll also enhance some of this video because we can do things like invert colors and stuff like that on our end as well. Maybe we'll get some better shots of some of these guys. So that's what I'll be doing this week. And also going through the files. If you've hung out with me in the past, when they drop files, I'm kind of a boring guy because I just read what's there. I guess I interject a little bit, but typically I read the full report. And I know that's not as entertaining, but I feel like that is the full report. Why would you cherry pick, like these videos? I can say that I've done my part in pushing out these videos more. Every single one that was on the website that they made available for download, I have put out there. But also, I'm going to do my own kind of top 10, top 20 and break them down even further. Because I think it'll be fun to show like how some of these can be artifacts, parallax, refraction, balloons, but it's also fun and sometimes easy to show how there's no way it could be any of that. Well, this is convenient. They just black out the whole screen. Huh. Why is that blacked out? Something moving and they have blacked it out. What? That's weird. They give us the video with the UAP on it, but they black out the UAP? That was a weird video, man. This is a different one, but yeah, that last one was weird. What the heck? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Oh, now that guy's cruising. Cruising for a bruising. What? That was going pretty fast. Some great video quality here. Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay, so is that... I can't tell if that artifact on the right, under the right black bar, is what they're tracking or something on the lens. It's very strange. Must have lost it. Okay. Come on. Oh, there we go. There he is. Found ya. I mean, how trippy is it to think, what if and I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying it is trippy to think about. What if these things are like angels or fallen angels, like demons? What the heck? Okay, that was weird. Was that a boat or something that went by? Or is that some other anomalous thing? That was really strange. Hold on, I'm going to back that up just a second. Back it up. That right there. Is that a ski-doo or a UFO? You all see that black thing right there? Watch it. It goes past the orb, slows down, and speeds up again. What on the flying fuck? That is crazy. So they must be putting out different, like one's like cold and one's putting out heat because they're the opposite color, right? We've got this orb that's white. And then we have whatever this is that comes into the picture that's black. So one's putting out heat, one is not. See it right there? Boom. One's black, one's white. Just like Michael Jackson said. It's black, it's white. So one of them's hot, one of them's cold. But it almost seems like they pick each other up and interact with each other. Because the black color one slows down for a second and then takes off. He's like, hey, wait. Oh, hey, Bob. How's it going? All right. Yeah, I got to get back to work. And then out of sight. That's a weird one, y'all. That's definitely going to make my list. I want to know where that was. I want to know what that black thing was. I got a lot of questions about that one. It looks like we've got same orb. Okay, so that must be some lens issue there on the right-hand side. I don't know if you see all the little white dot on the right-hand side under the black bar there. That's nothing. That's just like part of the lens or something. What we're looking at is this little guy below the crosshairs. And it looks like they're moving pretty quick. Again, we can't tell because they blacked out all the info, but looks like we're moving pretty quick. Wow. All right. I think I can play this song without being copywritten, I believe. Let me just double check. Because I know you probably are getting sick of hearing Gabe's voice. You're like, I just came here for the videos, Gabe. Shut up. Okay. So I'm going to do something I don't normally do. Monitor this guy in YouTube to see if we get a ding when I play this song. So it should notify me. I might have to stop this song immediately, but no biggie. Just a little change of pace song. Oh, wow. There's another one where it's like two of them. Is it two? Is it one? Is it three? Is it five? Oh, see, I saw a string at the bottom of those. If that was a string or a rope or a cable. And the thing is, y'all, is we have had programs and technology designed for like a submarine to swell up out of the ocean, a drone or balloon to be released from that submarine and tethered to that submarine. That's all very highly classified stuff, right? All we know is the theory. We don't know any details about how it works. But we do know that they've had classified programs to try to do this for decades, right? Some of it has actually been released. They had one drone that was supposed to look like a bird. It had like the M angles, so that when it was up in the sky, if you were to see the silhouette, it just looked like a bird. It was genius design, especially for, I think it was like the late 90s or something, or early 90s. And that was designed to shoot out of a submarine. So we know like our adversaries have to have somewhat similar technology. Some people think that's what Fravor saw when he saw what he saw, because he talks about seeing a swell in the ocean. And the theory is what happened is they were getting ready to deploy this spy balloon. And it's not like the United States hasn't had spy balloons flying over it unchecked, if y'all don't remember. So they were getting ready to release this spy balloon, and then they picked up these incoming fighter jets on their patrol. So they had to quickly cut that cable to that spy balloon and submerge before those fighter jets would pick them up. And then essentially what he's reacting to is just that balloon in wind gusts and things like that. I don't know if I think that's the case, but it's possible. Like I could see somebody obviously people have made that argument. And this is a really weird one. I don't know. Is that like that must be an offshore oil drill, obviously. And it looks like they're getting some activity around it. My question always that first comes to my mind when I see this kind of footage is why? Why were we monitoring an offshore oil well? Yes. Probably not that important, but it is interesting. But I'm not seeing a ton of activities. Like some of these videos are definitely longer than they need to be. Let's go. So here we go. Or not. There we go. Ooh, that was weird. That almost looked like a bug on the camera. It moves so quick. Look at that. Okay, so we got, is that a ship at sea? Looks like possibly a ship at sea, and All right, I'm gonna play a little bit background music. Oh, that was cool. I mean, I don't know why they didn't just show that. Why we had to see the boat for 10 minutes. All right, well, no warnings yet, so I think we're okay because it's just the instrumental version. Let's hope. Okay. So, man, how many little white dots are we going to see, y'all? Are you bored of these yet? Oh, but see, then some shit like this happens and you're like, what? Look, here's his buddy catching up to him. Like, now they're having a race. Wow. That's fucking, I'm sorry, y'all. That is no balloon. That is not a balloon. Going with the wind, against the wind, with the wind. Moving at those speeds. Come on. And the way they move, it's so interesting. It's like they're fighting against a different energy, right? They're working their way against a different flow. One we just don't understand. There's 2 of them, 3 of them. That could have been a reflection. 2 of them definitely, possibly 3. Doing a orb mating dance. I don't know what else you call that. It's the orb mating call, ladies and gentlemen. This is how the orb breeds, makes baby orbs. Oh, we're going to get audio again on one of these? Let's see. Any audio? Just black screen. Oh, that was weird. And this is, again, just for some of y'all that have just got to the room or got here just a little bit ago, this is every single video file that the Department of War made available for download in the second release. We've gone through the first release already. This is every single video from the second release, just strung together all at once. I didn't do any editing to it, nothing, just strung it together, processed it, and now we're watching it all together for the first time. Now, I will have down the road, I have a list of about 10 to 15 of these that we're going to go more in depth with, because some of them are very fascinating, especially the disc video. It was towards the beginning. If you weren't with us then, if we still have some time at the end of these, I'll run it back real quick just so we can take a look at it, because that video was fascinating. Okay, so this looks like we're watching another ship. Isn't that amazing, the view they can get? It's nighttime in the middle of the ocean, and they're like 2,000 feet above the sky. Look at that view. Crazy. See, those are the videos. Whoa. So I guess that was it. Yep, just shot right through. So he zooms out, and I was trying to catch it. Oh, just for a millisecond. Thing was cruising. Oh, there it is again. Wow, this is not very entertaining, this video right here, folks. I apologize. Let's just skip forward a little bit. Here we go. Look like a good picture there. That, again, I don't know where they are recording. I mean, this could seriously be anywhere. Why is this? Some of these videos are highly questionable, y'all. The one that had the black thing covering whatever the UFO was, why even release that? Because now everybody just wants to know, what were you hiding that was moving back there? There we go. All right, so, man, okay, so we're seeing these kind of orb things. They will go over land, but it looks like it seems like they feel more comfortable over the ocean. That's where we see them like literally split up into pieces and then like merged back together and split up into pieces and merged back together and split up into pieces and fly in formation and, merge back together and change shape. I've seen them do that over the ocean a few times, but I haven't seen anything like that over the land yet. So that's another interesting thing, I think, to note. Apparently, they found a second, what they believe to be Booga sphere. I don't know how legit that is. I know that Jaime Maussan has a bit of a checkered history. Kind of hit and miss, mostly miss from what I understand when it comes to UFO things. But the Booga sphere is fascinating to me, because I feel like the science is still kind of out. The problem is, who do you trust? Right? I know people that thought they could trust very respected universities that found out you really can't. Everybody's kind of got their own agenda no matter where you go. So who do you trust with that information? So that's kind of the knock against it now is, well, yeah, they've had this examined and they've had that examined, and they found out the stuff inside of it was like almost 12,000 years old. But then you hear the other side argue, oh yeah, but that's if you trust those scientists and that science center and da 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 da. And why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we trust their university and their science? Is it because they're Mexico? Are you racist? What's the matter with a Mexican university doing the testing? Isn't it the testing the same no matter where you go? So that's kind of weird. But yeah, the Boogosphere is passing. But anyway, I'm sorry. The whole point of that is they seem to have found some other type of sphere. I don't know. That's not what this episode is about. I'm just filling the dead air because there's just no audio on any of these videos. But we'll get into that in another UFO news episode as far as that sphere, what they're saying about that sphere. It looks similar to the Boogosphere, but it has some different etchings in it from what I understand. And the headline I saw said something about it seeming like maybe a newer version or something. I'm not sure, but very interesting that Boogosphere is. Booga! All right, so we're looking at a farm. Oh, what is, so that's like a person walking. You can see them in the upper right. So clearly we're spying on someone. Whoa. That was strange. I also don't understand how come some of these, they seem to have like slowed down to make it very clear so we can see the activity. And then in other ones, it's like that, where it's just, if you don't notice it, you don't notice it. It just goes by in a second. It probably is Zorro Ranch, to be honest with you, Silent. It probably is Zorro Ranch. That's another thing. And I'm recommending it. The recent interview that Rogan did with Weinstein, pretty interesting stuff, where he's talking about like Epstein and UFO stuff are part of the same thing, and advanced science, basically, like it's all related. We just don't know how yet. It is interesting that he does open up Zorro Ranch there that's like an hour away from Los Alamos. And then we had the recent shutdown of airspace in Albuquerque, around Albuquerque. So some weird shit going on down there in the New Mexico, Arizona area for sure. This, yeah, I mean, again, I've seen a couple weird things. Let's see if we can fast forward it here. Okay, so I saw like 3 people. I don't know who we're spying on. Probably Zorro Ranch, like Psionic says. And get some cloud cover. So strange. I keep jumping around because I'm trying to figure out what is the strangeness in this video. So far, it just looks like we're spying on people. I haven't seen anything too weird or anomalous. This looks like some kind of a, I don't know, like a farm. It's probably DEA spying on a weed farm or something. Is anything ever going to happen? Okay. Yeah, we're just going to move on. Oh, wow. That is circular. Very interesting. Yeah, you're probably right, Sonic. Probably cartel compounds, things like that. Illegal operations in one way or another. And this, yeah, this looks like a freaking boogosphere almost. What kind of a... That's a very strange one. I think this one makes my list, y'all, because this is very, very compelling video. Oh, no, it's a balloon. That looks like a balloon to me. And I'm definitely not that guy. You just heard me make fun of that guy for 45 minutes, but that does look like a balloon. Right? Looks like a wobbly, big-ass balloon. Yeah, that... What else do we got here? Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Well, now that's interesting. It's trying to lock on, it looks like, but can't quite get it to lock in. Oh, no, that's strange. That is very strange. And I don't know if y'all can see that, but if you look real close, that is very interesting. Yeah, that's one I'm definitely going to do some work on so we can get a better look at it. But that last one was very strange. Another white orb. Okay, there it was. Wow. See, that just doesn't... That type of movement, it just does not seem like that is a balloon. But it can be very difficult to discern without the details. And with the lens constantly flashing. Moving on. Come on, folks. Here we go. All right, here we go. We've got a small one over the ocean again, it looks like. That's pretty interesting. So this one's just cruising. I think that's the ocean. That doesn't look like a landscape. It looks like the ocean. And again, especially the ones where they track for a long time, I have a hard time believing they're a balloon because you just think at some point a trained drone operator, they would catch something. They have these checklists they go down, I'm sure, and you just think they would catch something at some point that would say, "Oh, that's blue," and then they would move on. But these ones like this that go on for like an extended period of time, you know, if this is an experienced drone operator that has already checked off that it's not a balloon, that's what we could be looking at as well. And that's where, you know, the details come in handy. All right. Very strange. Very strange. Here we go. What do we got here? So this is, oh, wow. Okay. We've got most details blocked out. This is a different kind of a drone. Okay. And there it is. You see that little black object towards the bottom right? Interesting. And that guy's just hovering there, just chilling. I'm going to make it full screen. Maybe you can get a better view. But this is some kind of a, I don't know if it's like an industrial manufacturing lot or some other kind of a lot. Oh, what a weird tracking system. I'm going to guess this was from a while ago. I lost it. It was just sitting there, though, like just chilling above some kind of complex. It looked like an industrial complex of some sort. See if we can find him again. Oh, I don't think he did. All right, we got another little guy over the ocean. And we're almost there, folks. Congratulations, you have done it. We are almost there. This was the full 3.5 hours. Well, I think it was just over 3 hours, plus me talking to NASA. But yeah, this is the full 3 hours of video. So congratulations. You can now say you have witnessed it all. And like I was saying, look for episodes down the road where we're going to break down some of the files that were released, and we're going to get some better video enhancements on some of these crazier videos. Slow them down, invert some of the colors, take a look and see if we can figure out any of the information, so on and so forth. So we'll be having episodes like that coming out over the next week or two. Okay, so this, we've got another... just a few more minutes. I just don't want to waste the last of your time if this is all this is for the last 5 minutes. Okay, that is it. You made it, y'all. Almost. Okay, that's it. All right, now, real quick, I just want to show you what will probably be, well, that's definitely in the list, the instantaneous propulsion. That one's definitely going to make the list. This one is very strange. Okay. This is the one. If you weren't here earlier, this is maybe the most interesting one, because this looks like a legitimate fucking UFO, flying saucer, whatever you want to say, call it, poking out of the clouds. And this is when I think we've heard Jeremy Corbell reference it. There it is right there. See that? Yeah, this one we have seen before. And I think it was because of Jeremy Corbell. Okay, Mick West. Do your best. It's just a weather balloon, you fool. Okay. You say so, sir. An original video is crazy because it's just like a second. Boom, there it is. See it in the top? So yeah, we're going to definitely do some work to this one for our next episode. Boy, crazy stuff. The astronaut stuff was really crazy. If you missed that, make sure to rewind it. The screen will change. It'll just be white. It'll have the NASA logo. But you had astronauts talking about fireflies. Fireflies don't survive in space, y'all. It doesn't work that way. And then we had 3 hours of the UFO videos, all new videos. Look out down the road. We're going to break down, like I said, I have been saying top 10 to 15 videos and give you some better looks at those. So thank you again for hanging out. Happy Memorial Day weekend, y'all. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share if you enjoyed it, got anything out of it. We really appreciate it. Really helps us grow our stream. And we will see you next time. It's time for us to get some barbecuing done. So I will see you later.